Hello, I'm Stuart Bloor. Going to do some fishing later in the video, but first of all I want to just talk you very briefly through my gear. As you can see there, I've got the rod and the reel. They're already made up, and I'll come to that little bit on the end in a moment. They're already made up. It's a Fox Rage Ultron, matching rod and reel, as you can see from the colour there. I have got a designated rod, and I'm just lifting the bit up there. As you can see, there's a weighted piece on the end, so when you're actually moving that in the water, it does really give it a nice feel as you're moving the lure around. So I keep everything made up. That's sunline braid on there as well, and that little bit at the end, that's there just to keep the swivel, which I've already got permanently attached to the braid, intact. So all I do is I get to the water's edge, take it all to pieces like so, just connect it, tie on the rig, and away I go. Let's have a look at the rig. Well, that was a peep into my tackle box there, and you saw in particular the components that you need to construct the rig. There's the lead, you may have noticed those, and they're the weights. They are specific tungsten Dropshot weights, and they are very good. The actual construction of them is such that you're fishing on the bottom. The lead itself, the weight is on the bottom, and snags are the order of the day. Now obviously if you go into a tree, a root or a big branch or something, there's nothing you can do about that. It will actually just come off. But in the normal everyday stuff that you get growing on the bottom, these are good. And when I first did drop shotting, I thought I'll probably be losing these all the while on the bottom with weed or a little bit of a stone just sticking out at an angle or something like that. But no, it pulls out very good. So they are well designed. Also saw the minnows in there, the Berkeley Dropshot minnows, just 2 inches long, so they're perfect size for perch. Also the hooks are very specific. They have a definite curve in them, which is very noticeable as soon as you look at them, not like any other hook that we use in fishing. So those are the main components, and of course the line. I use, as you can see there, Fox Illusion. It's a fluorocarbon, which is very important, and so you get your line, your weight, your minnow, your hook, and as they used to say on Blue Peter, here's one I made earlier, and I cut off about 5 feet of fluorocarbon, and towards the bottom, about 1/3 of the way up, because I am fishing the canal on the sessions that you will see later, and not very deep at all, so I didn't want the minnow way up in the water. I wanted it down so I could pull it up, drop it, pull it up, and then drop it down. And so about 1/3 of the way up, or 2/3 of the way down, depending on how you look at it, I tied a Palomar knot. That's an important knot. It's it just sits. It makes the hook and the bait sit perfectly. So as you can see there, there's the line, and there's the knot, and there's the hook with the minnow on. Can you see that already, how that's moving? Now in the water, that really does attract the fish, doesn't it? That little tail that I've left loose there, just to flap enticingly in the water. So get to the water's edge, put my rod up like I did earlier, tie the top there to the swivel, and then at the bottom, all you do, and this is something specific to drop shotting as well, you don't tie the lead on, because if you tie it on and you get snagged, then you're definitely in trouble. You slide it through there. I haven't got my glasses on, so I can't do it for you now, but you slide it through there. There's a little clip on the top, and then you just pull it into the top of the clip, and it sits nice and tight. Perfect. So let's get down the canal and put the theory into practice. Well, I'm on the canal now. This is where the rubber hits the road, so to speak. Gone through all my gear, back home in my tackle room. Now we're going to put it to the test. I'm going to show you first of all how the minnow works in the water. This is the canal. It's not very clear, and of course I'm on my own. I've just got the camcorder there, but I'm going to try and bring the minnow up in the water and just move it up and down so that you can see just how enticing that particular bait is to a fish. So let's have a look at that. I'm not sure how well that came out really, but I think you just about could make out the minnow just moving up and down, a nice gentle action. So of course as I'm fishing that in the canal, and I'm going to start fishing now proper, hopefully I'm going to catch a fish. Nice little perch would be a good start, wouldn't it? And who knows, could get something more decent. I've probably got about an hour or so up to dusk now. Lovely time of the day. The boats have stopped, nice and quiet. Got the canal to myself. What more can you want? As you can see there from the screen, I'm just gently lifting it up and down. A very light lead, little weight, and I can feel it bouncing on the bottom. I think the word to describe this sort of fishing is finesse, without any doubt at all. You're very much in contact all the while with the weight, and obviously you know what the bait's doing as well, the minnow. So it's quite exciting. Well, I've got one. It's not very big, but not a blanker, am I? I'll show you that now. See how small it is. And there's the minnow. Hold it back a little bit. Just a tiny, tiny fish, but it's great, isn't it? As we know, drop shotting is fairly new to the UK, and I think it's definitely taking off in terms of popularity, with a lot more anglers deciding to give it a go, and I'm one of those. Got into it this year. Been thinking about it for a long time, but I didn't want to get all the gear, because I wanted to get the right stuff. Didn't want to get all the gear based on a fad or a whim, so I decided to get the stuff and give it a go. I think one thing that's important, like any sort of fishing really, is that it's good to see what other folks are doing, and we certainly don't discount any of the advice and experience that's out there, but I think we have to find our own techniques, because as an example, I've heard one angler say always keep your rod high. That's important, always keep it high. And then I heard another one say always keep it low, as low as you can to the water. And I think that's the thing with a lot of angling, in fact most angling, isn't it really? And I'm just working this minnow while I talk. I think that's the thing with most angling. It's down to experience, and it's down to how we feel about things. I think most angling is very subjective. So what I would say is don't discount what people are saying. Take it on board, digest it, but then don't necessarily do it just because someone said do it. Like you're a barbel angler and you always use this one rod. Why do you use the rod? Oh, because some famous barbel angler always fishes with it. We have to do things because we've worked it out for ourselves. And I think certainly with drop shot, and that's what I'm doing. I'm working out my own technique, and I think actually that you'll probably employ different styles on certain days and depending on the venue and all that sort of thing. So I must be doing something right anyway, because I haven't been doing it very long and I've only had a few sessions, but I'm catching perch. I've had chub on the canal as well, also had pike, had a small jack when I first got hold of my drop shotting gear. So I'm certainly enjoying it, and ultimately that's what fishing's all about. back on the canal, and with the conditions being different, I thought I'd show the minnow working towards the surface. And I don't know if you saw their little perch come round. And there it is. Brilliant, isn't it? Only a small one, as I said at the beginning. Just really a video for you know, just sort of showing the technique and maybe a few fish. Brilliant. I'm enjoying this. It's a lovely way to fish. Don't know if you can hear, but there's a skylark singing in the distance. Well, not too far away, probably 100 yards or so. Know that you can pick it up. As someone who loves my nature as well as my fishing, when I'm out and about, it's a combination of the two, really, isn't it? Perfect. And as you can see, I'm dressed very differently to the first session. That's the British weather for you. One day it's sunny and not a cloud in the sky almost. Lovely and warm. And just a day later it's overcast and grey, murky and not quite so warm. No wonder the British people talk about the weather all the time. But if you're an angler, you just get on with it. And that's what I do. Never let the conditions stop me from fishing. The video's coming to an end now. Hope you've enjoyed it. The great thing about this sort of fishing, you hear the chiff chaff there? Great thing about this sort of fishing is you can literally just turn up, tie your rig on and away you go. I suppose that's the same with lure fishing in general, really, isn't it? There's no need to bait up or do lots of preparation on the bank. You just get there, start fishing. And I do fish a lot. If you follow my angling journal, you'll be aware of that. But I don't always get time to fish through the day, as in all day long or all night long. I do a lot of sessions like that, but a lot of them are just short, where I have, in this case, an hour before the boats come through, or in the last session, an hour before dark. So it's about making the most of the time, really, isn't it? And I think drop shotting is perfect for that, because those little sort of 1 hour, 2 hour sessions that you can sneak in and get amongst the fish. Well, I've had a couple anyway. Didn't really expect anything big. It's not that sort of stretch. But I got something for the camera, and that's always important, isn't it? You can follow me on Twitter. I'll put all the links up in a moment. Like my Facebook page. Keep in touch with my angling, and of course subscribe to the videos on YouTube as well. If you're out and about yourself, tight lines, and I'll see you soon.